Parent, do you want your children to achieve success in life? If so, I highly recommend that you let your children struggle now. I know this sounds crazy and counterintuitive, but that is exactly what I'm going to discuss in this video. I'm going to use a really powerful learning model to show you why struggling is actually a good thing for your children. And not only is struggling a good thing, but actually also a necessary ingredient for your kid to achieve confidence, motivation, and future success. So really excited to share this with you. Who am I to discuss this topic? My name is Dr. AI. I'm an award-winning former college professor turned life coach. I specialize in serving teenagers and young adults, helping them overcome procrastination, overcoming self-doubt, enhancing their executive functioning skills so that every kid can achieve success in school and beyond, regardless of their current challenges. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you, this is one of my favorite learning models, and I'm going to show you why struggling is a good thing. And not only is struggling a good thing, but actually a necessary ingredient for your children's confidence, motivation, and future success. So let's get started. What is this learning model about? So the learning model, it is called the 4 levels of learning. And I tried to figure out who was the person who developed this model. And I got several names, but here is a name that I found from the internet who created this model. And there are different variations for this model, but this is the one that I have been using for more than 2 decades. You know what? I'm going to share this with you from the bottom. So this learning model is, as you can see from the name, the 4 levels of learning, from the lowest level to the highest level. And I'm going to show you each of them one by one. The lowest level of learning is called unconsciously incompetent or unconscious incompetence. This is, I know it is hard to see. So this one is you don't know what you don't know. For example, before I shared this 4 level of learning model with you, you wouldn't even go to Google to search what is the 4 levels of learning, who created the 4 levels of learning. You wouldn't even do that. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know. That's why I think working with a coach can be so powerful, right? So that is level 1, unconsciously incompetent. You don't even know what you don't know. This is pure ignorance, level 1. And as you continue on the level learning journey, you are going to get to level 2. Level 2 is called conscious incompetence. So what is this? This is that you know, you actually do not know, right? So now conscious, right? So you are consciously aware that you are not good at something, right? And like, for example, now I'm recording YouTube video. I can use this as an example. Before I started my YouTube channel, let's imagine video 0, like I was creating my YouTube channel, everything, I was really excited because I never recorded a single YouTube video. So I didn't even know how hard this was. So I was at level 1. I didn't know I was good or bad at this. But as soon as I did my very first video, I was like, wow, I was now really good at this, right? So conscious incompetence. And the same thing for many things in life. And my youngest, I have 3 boys. My youngest is 3 years old. So recently he finished potty training, everything. And I saw him going through this entire process from not knowing to like, now I know I'm now really good at this. And if we continue on the learning journey, we are going to get to level 3, which is conscious competence, meaning that you know you are good at this, right? And for me, YouTube, I don't know, like this, I'm still kind of new on my YouTube journey. So I don't know if I can say that I'm consciously competent. I feel like I'm between level 2 and level 3. But when it comes to being a life coach, working with young people, I have been doing this for 2 decades, have served hundreds. At this point in my professional career, I worked with more than 2,500 young people. So I can say with confidence and pride that I'm pretty good at what I do. So I'm at a level 3. I know I'm good at this, right? So that is conscious competence. And so this is, you know about it. You know you are really good at this. And but sometimes you have to think about it, right? So which is normal because we still do not know everything, but you know you are good at this. And the highest level is mastery. And this is you have completely achieved unconscious competence. So autopilot, right? If you drive a car, right? So if you drive a car from work to home, and if you have been driving on the road, the same path for many years, and you can almost drive your car with your eyes closed, right? Oftentimes you are on autopilot. You don't have to think, okay, should I turn left? Should I turn right? You can drive back home or drive to work. And the same thing like us tying our shoes, brushing our teeth, how to speak, how to eat, how to use utensils, how to put on our clothes. So many of those things we have achieved mastery, meaning that we can do this without thinking about it. We can do this with almost our eyes closed. I'm pretty sure I can brush my teeth with my eyes closed because I have been brushing my teeth for quite a few decades. And so you can see from this, the lowest level to the highest level, this is how we learn anything new, how we master anything in life. So going back to today's training, if we want our children to achieve success, why struggling is a good thing? So let me explain this from a different angle. So I just share this with you from the lowest level of learning to the highest level of learning. And most people, most of us will spend lots of time at level 2 and 3. This is how we achieve mastery. And some people even argue there's that a principle called 10,000 hours. So if you want to be good at anything, you need to practice. Of course, you have to practice the right way. You have to practice for at least 10,000 hours. So that 10,000 hours largely fall into level 2 and 3. So here's something also very interesting about this learning model. Let's say that your kid or a learner, they learn public speaking, which, I work with young people. Many of them, they're so afraid of public speaking. And many of them are at level 2. They know they're not good at this, but for many of their classes, they have to do presentations or maybe even job interviews. They don't feel really confident in doing this. So they're at level 2. But if they continue on this journey, they are going to achieve level 3. But do you know something happens between level 2 and 3? And that is so between level 2 and level 3, what is guaranteed to happen is frustration, confusion, and mistakes. In other words, aka struggling, right? This is our definition of struggling. So what this model tells us is for any learner, regardless of how smart you are, regardless of how not smart you are, if you want to learn something new, if you are stepping outside your comfort zone, if you are trying to learn YouTube, a new language, learning about math, public speaking, a job interview, anything, when you are stepping outside your comfort zone, right? When you arrive at level 1, when you continue on this journey, and you are going to experience frustration, confusion, and mistakes because that is level 2 and 3. So between level 2 and 3, between not knowing and trying to know how to do something, like this is aka, we also call this the learning process, right? This is how we close the gap between ignorance, you don't even know what you don't know, and mastery. So how we close the gap, how we close the learning gap is to go through this learning journey. And unfortunately, in order for us to advance on this learning journey, we cannot avoid frustration, mistake, and confusion, aka struggling. So in other words, if your kid is actually struggling, I want to celebrate your children for a second. It means that they are actually on the right track. They are actually climbing up the learning ladder. They are actually learning something new. They are actually trying to achieve mastery. And I spent lots of, several years ago, I did my very first TEDx talk, which was later published on the main TED platform, which was such a big deal to me at the time. And I spent lots of time memorizing my script, memorizing my entire talk, which was not easy because I'm used to this type of conversation. But for TED Talk, you have to memorize every single line. And so I spent lots of hours hanging out between level 1 and 3. I was feeling frustrated. I was making mistakes. I was feeling confused. I was like, what am I doing? But I just kept going. And then eventually, maybe not mastery, but I did a pretty good job for my talk. It definitely got easier and easier. And unfortunately, we cannot arrive at level 4 without going through the frustration, without going through the confusion. And that's why I always tell parents, don't freak out when your kids are struggling. The fact that they are struggling means that they are actually learning something new. They are stepping outside their comfort zone. They are trying to close the learning gap in terms of specific skill, maybe a public speaking skill, maybe a socialization skill, maybe a math skill, maybe a type of exercise, whatever it is. Struggling is a positive sign that your kid is actually trying something new. Struggling is a positive sign that they are working really hard to close their skills gap. So now you learn this model, right? So when you feel like, or when you are observing that your children are having a moment of frustration, confusion, or making mistakes, celebrate them, teach this model, share this model with them, and tell them, hey, you are actually exactly where you're supposed to be. Just keep going, and eventually you will achieve success. And this process is also what I work with every single young person in my coaching program, because many young people, when they come to my coaching program, they are at level 2 or level 3. Most of the time, exactly between 2 and 3, when in terms of a specific thing in their life, maybe school related, maybe job search related, maybe social skills related, maybe not enough confidence, whatever it is, they are at here. So something that I do is that, hey, listen, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. If you can keep going, you are eventually going to achieve mastery. It is a natural part of learning, a natural part of building up your resilience, building up your confidence, building up your motivation. And of course, right, being the coach I am, or maybe you can do this at home, you do not want your kid to struggle alone. You want to provide them and empower them with the skill set and the mindset they need so that they can close the gap. They can successfully navigate through the learning curve while being supported. Something I always say is that struggles, it's not bad, but struggling alone can be very dangerous to our children's future. Even though we know this is a natural learning curve, you don't want them to be on the struggling bus for too long, then that will be a recipe to kill their confidence, kill their motivation. They feel like they are not making progress at all. Because a big part of confidence and motivation is seeing that I am making progress. If I'm on the struggling bus for way too long, if I'm seeing I'm not making any progress, then it is likely for a learner to give up and they will go back to ground one. Okay, so that is this learning model I want to share with you. And you can see this learning model is why I shared with you earlier. If you want your children to achieve success in life, let them struggle. Struggling means they are the only people who do not go through any struggles in life are people at level 1. They're in ignorance. They don't even know what they don't know. They are not even in the arena. They're not even trying this thing. So they don't struggle. So if your kid is struggling, see that as a positive thing. And what you need to do is, if you can provide the coaching support, do it yourself. Or if you don't know how to help, find a coach like myself or anyone you trust that can help your kid, can empower them with the skill set, the mindset they need to close the learning gap so that they can achieve mastery. And then once they achieve mastery in one specific area, they can continue to grow and they can continue to venture into new projects, new skills development. Okay, so if you are interested in having me work with your kid one-on-one in regard to their specific challenges so that they can be empowered with the mindset support, the skill set support they need to close the learning gap, I highly recommend you use the link in the description box to apply to book a complimentary consultation with me. I will be the person reviewing your application, and you and I, if your application is approved, you and I will speak on Zoom, and I will listen to you telling me about your children's specific challenges, and I will provide you with customized feedback and tell you more about my private one-on-one coaching program. Space is very limited for my one-on-one coaching program. So if you're interested, apply. If you're not interested, I hope you enjoy this video and let me know what you think about this learning model. And I'm also excited to share, in a few weeks, I will be doing a free 5-day challenge. I'm going to go a lot deeper on some of the things that I discuss on my YouTube channel. So if that is something of interest to you, take advantage of the free registration link, which is also listed in the description box. Let me know what you think about this. And if you enjoy this video, you should definitely check out another video. And I kind of explain something similar, but I used 2 additional very powerful learning models. And those 2 learning models also changed my own relationship with the struggles when I work with my own biological children. And the other 2 models are also what I share with the students in my coaching programs a lot, and they love it. Okay, so definitely check out that video. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you again in another video. Thank you so much for your support.